Hi, I'm Ken Martin, the DFL Party Chair. Thanks for tuning in to our weekly message, The Chair's Corner. This week, our DFL leaders hit the road to talk about the important role DFL legislators played in passing 2 jobs bills this session and stopping the Republicans from prevailing on a tax bill that offered no help for middle-class Minnesotans, but offered more tax giveaways to corporations. On their travels around the state, they are sharing the message that Minnesotans deserve better than the same Republican leadership that forced the government shutdown last year and fought on all fronts this year to prevent Governor Dayton from putting Minnesotans back to work. Governor Dayton used his veto pen to reject the Republican attacks on workers and defend women's rights. Maintaining his commitment to job creation, Governor Dayton refused to sign the GOP tax bills because he knows tax giveaways to corporations will do nothing to help turn our economy around. It was the leadership of Governor Dayton and our DFL legislators that led to the passing of 2 jobs bills. We could not be more proud of our governor and our leaders for their unrelenting commitment to creating a better Minnesota by helping middle-class families, defending workers' rights, and investing in the future of this state. Today, I am honored to welcome Governor Dayton's Chief of Staff, Tina Smith, to the show. Tina has worked on countless campaigns and has been a truly remarkable leader for the DFL party and for all of our elected officials throughout the state. Standing beside Governor Dayton, Tina has been in the middle of the action throughout these last 2 legislative sessions. Thank you so much for joining me today,
Thanks a lot.
Tina. I really appreciate having you here.
Great to be here.
So this legislative session provided more evidence of just how far right the Republican agenda is and how out of touch GOP legislators are with Minnesota values. How have the Republicans obstructed the progress Governor Dayton and DFL leaders have been fighting for?
Well, you know, at the very beginning of the legislative session, the governor and the DFL legislators came out with their Jobs Now package, talking about 5 or 6 great ideas for how we could create jobs for Minnesotans now, for veterans, for students just getting out of college, and for everyday Minnesotans. And their response to that was just no, no, no. They came very, very close to having this be the biggest do-nothing legislature that we've seen in anybody's memory in Minnesota. And thanks to the governor and the DFL, we were able to get some victories at the end, especially with the bonding bill.
Absolutely. We could not be more proud of our DFL leaders and also Governor Dayton, their unending commitment to job creation. Can you talk about the difference between the GOP tax jobs bills and the numerous jobs bills put forth by Governor Dayton and our legislative leaders?
Sure. Well, as my boss, Governor Dayton, would say, just calling it a jobs bill doesn't make it so. And that was clearly the situation with their so-called jobs bill, which was really nothing more than a big tax giveaway to corporations. That's not going to create jobs for Minnesotans, and the Democrats in the legislature really understood that. So the big difference between what we proposed and what they proposed was that they were focused on giving tax giveaways to corporations in the shape of property tax relief. Well, Governor Dayton said, you know, why should we give property tax relief to businesses? Why not to homeowners, to renters, to farmers, to seniors? Those are his priorities. That's just one example of the big differences between the 2 different sides. Really completely different priorities.
Well, I always thought it was interesting watching the debate and seeing that Governor Dayton's proposals, whether the jobs bill at the very beginning of the legislature, the bonding bill, and then the Viking Stadium, between those 3 proposals would have created upwards of 50,000 new jobs in the state of Minnesota. And I thought it was interesting looking at our proposals that we put forward with the leadership of the governor, and then you look at their tax bill, which really bought into this sort of same old rhetoric of the Republican Party, which is this trickle-down economics. If you put more money in the pockets of wealthy individuals and corporations, that they're going to create jobs, and it's just never proven to be fact in this state. And so we really appreciate the governor's leadership on this and pushing for real jobs that are shovel-ready and are going to have an immediate impact on the economy in this state. So, you know, Governor Dayton asked Minnesotans to give the DFL a chance at making progress in this state by sending more DFLers to St. Paul and taking back the majority. Looking ahead to this November's elections, how important is having the support in the House and Senate for Governor Dayton next legislative session?
I think it's hugely important. We worked really, really hard over the last 2 sessions to make taxes more fair in Minnesota by asking the richest Minnesotans to pay their fair share. We worked really hard to pass jobs bills that would put people to work right now. And we worked really hard to pay back the school shift, all of the money that was borrowed by the Republicans from our schools. And on all of those on all of those issues, the Republicans basically said no. Thank goodness the Democrats in the legislature came forward and put up the majority of the votes so that we could actually get a bonding bill passed. If it hadn't been for that, the Republicans just saying no would have stopped that from happening as well. But the most important thing going forward is reducing property taxes, making a tax system that is more fair, and creating jobs for Minnesota. And we're going to be hard-pressed to accomplish that with Republicans in the legislature. So what my boss said, what Governor Dayton said is, give us a chance. Let us show you what we can do. Let's move past this gridlock and this do-nothing legislature. Bring Democrats in. Let us show you what we can do for Minnesotans, and see how you like it.
Absolutely. And what do you think we can accomplish with DFL majorities under the leadership of Governor Dayton? I think our best days are in front of us as a state. The governor, I believe, believes that as well. And the governor is truly committed to, obviously, making a better Minnesota. That's what he campaigned on in the first 2 legislative sessions. There's no doubt that that's what he's done. What will this state look like with DFL majorities and Governor Dayton next year?
I think you'll see a few things. The first is you'll see a true commitment to education, not just lip service. You'll see us pay back. We need to put money into our schools, and we need to start to pay back all the money that we borrowed from our schools. The second thing I think we'll see is a tax system that's more fair. And we need to be investing in our schools and our roads and our bridges, and making investments that are going to make this state more competitive so that jobs are created here. That's the vision for the Democrats and for the DFLers in the legislature and the governor, and it's not the vision for the Republicans. They are just wanting to, what did they do this year? They passed, these constitutional amendments that are all about taking away people's rights. They believe that the smaller the government is, the better it is, and we have different priorities.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I know you spent a lot of sleepless nights, probably a lot of hours, late hours up at the Capitol in negotiations, and now with a little perspective to look back at the last 2 legislative sessions. For you personally, what has been the highlight of this job? I know it's stressful at times, but I'm sure rewarding in a lot of ways. What's been the highlight for you?
Well, every single day I drive up John Ireland Boulevard and I look at the Capitol and I think, it sounds kind of corny, but it's absolutely true. I think how blessed I am to have the opportunity to go into that Capitol and work for Governor Dayton and work for the people of Minnesota. And it's an unbelievable opportunity. And, I have really gotten to know the governor in many ways for the first time. I've known of him, I always supported him, but the chance to work with him one-on-one every day has just been really fantastic. He is a person who is he leads through his convictions. He is not preparing for the next thing. This is the thing for him. And I think it's a real privilege to have a chance to work with him every day.
Well,
plus he makes me laugh, which is always good.
That is
He's very
good.
funny.
Absolutely. And committed, the same as you are to this state and to communities. You've held so many other positions before being chief, which were given back to this great state and to the communities that you've lived in and worked in. So we really appreciate all of your leadership and commitment, not only to the state, but also to our DFL party. And we really thank you for being here today, Tina.
Thank you so much.
We look forward to doing the work to remind Minnesotans that they deserve better out of their elected leaders than the Republicans have provided. The last 2 years provided enough evidence that we can and will do better by electing leaders who share our priorities and support the policies that will grow our economy, provide good paying jobs, and invest in education so we can move our state forward. Thank you again to Tina Smith for joining me today, and thank you for tuning in to this week's Chair Corner. I hope you will join us again next time.